right, this is the third weekend in a row that we're going on a road trip, overlanding, finding a campground, having some fun. So today we are heading toward the place called North Fork Campground. It's a small primitive campground, basically just a few spots in the middle of nowhere on the south side of Mendocino National Forest. Now you can see behind me the hills over there, right across this I guess valley, somewhere on top there. That's where we're gonna camp. That's where North Fork Campground is, someplace. So we have to go pass and go down this road, go past these off-roaders there, go on the different trails and paths and get to our campground. No freaking way. We got here and about 2 miles from the place we wanted to go, road is closed. God damn it. Alright, I guess it's back to the drawing board, trying to find a different spot. About 2-3 miles from the place we wanted to go to, there was a locked gate. So now I'm trying other different trails to see what we find. I don't know. I don't know why there's a locked gate. It's just regular trails in Mendocino National Forest, but I guess there's some reason. So I took another trail. Don't know the name of it, don't know where it's going, but we'll see where it leads us. And well, here, this is where it leads us. I think this weekend we're gonna have no luck. So apparently the place that we wanted to camp, North Fork Campground, is off of Stonyford, I think it's called, off-road vehicle area. So there are a lot of trails, but lots of gates as well. So there are a lot of trails for motorcycles and ATVs, but not something that I can fit in. So I just took a random road with a hope to find some trails. I see something here, some trails that I can get myself into and find a place to camp. So fingers crossed. All right, so I found this trail. I don't know what it is, but if you look at the map, it kind of leads to some little lake or reservoir. So I'm gonna try to find my way there and see if I can find a nice camping spot. Later on, when I'm in camp, I'll figure out where I am. But it looks like we are climbing up. It's now 7 degrees lower in temperature than it was 20 minutes ago at the bottom of the mountain. And there's some snow on the ground, but not enough to get stuck or anything like that. Hopefully it's not my last words. But we'll see where we end up with this trail. So when I said not enough snow on the ground to get stuck, I think I have to eat my hat now. So there's still not a lot of snow, but we keep going up, and we did go through some patches of maybe 3 or 4 inches deep snow. Not that much of a big deal, but again, with the street tires, stock suspension and height, that's could be a recipe for getting stuck, similarly to how I did get stuck in Hannes Pass last year. But we'll see. I guess eating my hat is the next move. There is snow on the ground. Again, not deep enough to get stuck necessarily, but snow is snow. Kind of nice, but with street tires, I'm not a fan of snow. Alright, so we're trying another trail here. All the trails here have names, numbers and letters. So I don't really pay attention to that, and I'm not exactly sure where I am, but I do have a a map, so I'll be able to find my way out. But this type of a trail, again, without a trailer, I'm willing to take the chance. The worst case scenario is that I have to just reverse out of the trail, even if I cannot turn. So, but it seems kind of this trail has a potential to be a challenging trail. Yeah, so it's not a highly technical trail, but you know, I have to go slow, maybe 2, 3, 4 miles an hour, because it's a lot of bumps and different things. I have to watch for tree trunks and branches, not to poke the truck. And as you can see, there were fires here, so a lot of the trees are burned, but that doesn't makes it either harder or easier. But still, you have to pay attention. You can see a lot of trees fall down and poke into shit. See, that's why it's dangerous to film and drive. Okay, so down there I'm now on an offshoot and the trail becoming snowy over there. Problem is I cannot take the chance because it's going downhill. I'll be okay going downhill, but I don't know what's on the other side of this trail, and if there's a gate or I have to come back up the hill, there's absolutely no way I'm making it with 3 tires. So the only choice now is to reverse back to where we came from, which it is what it is. Oh wow, oh where? Wait a minute, oh shit, nah, there's no way we're going down here. The angle that you see on the camera, that's the angle, and I have a rooftop tent which raises the... Let's go a little bit down, just see what's there, but this does not look like something I should do, even get close to, but I'm just curious. Hopefully, no, you know what, no, that's not for us. Not with 3 tires. Alright, okay, was a good try. Tried this trail. One fork goes down the hill, but there's a long patch of snow, and as I mentioned before, I can't take a chance that that trail is blocked somehow with a gate or anything else, and I have to come up the hill. There's no way I'm going to make it up that patch of snow with such a steep hill. I tried another fork, and as you could see, it goes downhill way too steeply. And again, being by myself with 3 tires without anyone else to help me if I get stuck, not exactly the smartest thing to do. So we're gonna backtrack, go to where we... Oh, hold on a second. The truck just slid a little bit and I almost hit the tree with the side of the truck. But anyway, I was saying that we gave it a shot. Too risky to do without another truck to help if I get stuck. So we're gonna backtrack, most likely go down to where we came from and spend the night in the campground where all the off-roaders are, so there'll be a bunch of people there, so most likely going to be kind of noisy, but that's fine. It's another adventure. Just got back to the road, but I just saw another trail and I'm backing up, try to, we're going to give it another shot, try to explore this trail. Again, I have no clue what the names are or where we are exactly, but it doesn't matter. That's part of the fun, not knowing exactly where we are. But I'm going to try to explore this one here and see where it leads us. See if we can find a good camping spot that is nice and reasonable without snow. So I'll give it a shot. Seemed pretty easy. Well, might get a little more difficult later, but this one goes downhill, which is great, which means we're going to pick up a few degrees of temperature, meaning it's going to get a little warmer downhill, but let's see. Alright, so this trail that we're on, it's pretty easy. Some patches of snow, but it's pretty wide, seems like it's well maintained. It's almost like a well-maintained fire road, so no real challenge. No 4-wheel drive yet on this particular part of the trail. Just looking to see where it goes, see if we can find a good camping spot. Now these trails in the Mendocino National Forest, you can drive for weeks, literally for weeks. just inside the Mendocino National Forest, going on these trails. They are crisscrossing left, right, up and down all over this national forest, which is, I don't exactly know how big it is, but I would say I wouldn't be surprised if it's a couple of 100,000 of acres, or maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. But coming here without knowing how to get out can be tricky. So I have a map, offline map, that I can navigate back to where I came from. But one can literally spend days and days riding these trails. Some of them are more difficult than others, but still, it's kind of cool. As a reference, not that exactly I know where it is, but we are in an intersection for Bear Creek, Summit Springs and Goat Mountain, somewhere in Mendocino. And this is the intersection. We'll figure out, I don't really know, we'll just pick one. I guess this one. I don't know where it's going, but it's going somewhere. Okay, I think now we know where we are. So, see this sign? Berryessa Snow Mountain National Monument. So, we are at Berryessa Snow Mountain National Monument. And later on I will look it up on the map and see exactly where we are. But if you look at the map now, we are in the middle of nowhere with dozens of little trails left and right and up and down. But it's nice. This trail kind of goes all the way around the ridge, and I don't know if you can see it on the camera, goes this way, all the way up there, all the way up there. I have no clue where it's ending or where it's going to, but I'm looking for something that is a bit warmer down the hill somewhere. So I think I'm gonna make a U-turn, go back to the bottom of the mountain and find a camping spot over there. This way we'll have few degrees of warmer temperatures for the night. Alright, so we backtracked down the hill or down the mountain, and the temperature here is about 8 degrees warmer than up the hill over there. The problem is that we're not alone. You can hear motorcycles, cars, there are RVs over there, but this little campground is empty, so we are alone in our immediate area, but there's a lot of noise around us. Hopefully at night it won't be that bad. I deliberately parked so close to the camping table here, so when I open the tent I can easily put the dog in, so save my back a little bit. Alright, anyway, I'm gonna start setting up, making some food for Dahlia, and get the beer out and have some fun. So one thing that anyone with a rooftop tent will be aware of is that when you park your rig and you have a rooftop tent, you want it to be level. So this time I had to put a rock under the wheel here to level me up. But the way that I do this, the way that I figure out if I'm leveled or not, two ways. One is I have a level right here by the window, which helps me level kind of the front and back, and then I have a kind of a small little level like this that I can put here and see how level I am, and I can play with it, and then it helps me figure out how level I am. Not that much of a big deal, but just this is how I do it. So this is our hand washing and dishwashing station. Got soap, hand soap and dish soap, towel, and 6 or 7 gallons of water, which is enough for a long time. Next, I'm gonna make some food, some sandwiches for myself and Dahlia. So I got this rooftop tent. It's a RoofNest Condor XL. I got it 3 weeks ago. I got it, and this is the 3rd night that we're spending it in it. Last time when we went to Penoche Hills, that was the 2nd night, and that's when I realized that there's a pretty bad design flaw in the way that the ladder is attached to the bottom of the tent. And in my particular case, it's actually punctured a hole
in the base of the tent, not in the material, but in the actual base, in the structure. And I'll open it here and I'll show you what I mean, and I'll also show you how to fix it. Okay, so I opened the case or the structure. As you can see, I have the flap is fine, everything is good. So usually what I do is I fold it. Now I discovered this when I was closing the tent, not when I was opening, but it is how I discovered it. You know, when you close the tent, you push the leather in and then you put the leather down. I pushed everything in, but the leather was not coming down. It was stuck in this kind of a position. So I'm like, it took me a second to figure out, and then I saw this hinge. So what's wrong with this hinge? Several things. One, the bolt here has no spacers or washer to absorb some of the friction. So what happened, just by the 2 or 3 times that I opened and closed the tent, keep in mind it was just the second night, it's tightened the bolt here, and then when I was trying to close the tent, this hinge dug into the base. Now this hinge by itself is a bad design, because this material is not designed to bear any load or have any structural integrity to it. It's very thin, it's just to contain what's under it. This hinge is sitting on the frame and on this material. This, I would be surprised if this is more than maybe 1 or 2 millimeter thick, maybe a little more. Now the hinge is, whoever designed it relied on the fact that this material will support the hinge, but the bolts are here. So what happened is, if these bolts are too tight, this bends over into the material, and I don't know if you can see it on camera, but it made a cut in this base. So it's very disappointing to have a tent that I spent, what is it, like $3,500, and on the second night have it punctured, like the base. This is not something that I can fix. I can maybe mitigate it, but I cannot fix it. So there are a couple of things that RoofNest should have done. One is they could have put a tube here that the bolt goes through the tube, so it's completely frictionless. Second, this hinge is useless. Either the hinge should be as thick as the actual frame, or they should have put a plate here that can absorb some of the load with this type of a hinge or a bracket, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Amazon. I'm going to buy probably a 2 millimeter or 3 millimeter or maybe 1 millimeter thick aluminum plate. I'm going to slide it under the hinge here and under the hinge here, and I'm going to glue it. This way it's going to have a little bit of support. It's not going to fix it, not going to actually support, but it's going to have a little bit of support, and it's going to cover the hole here. So if you have a Condor or anything that's similar to this from RoofNest, look at your tent, see if you have the same problem here. Even a washer should have probably worked here. Or another potential solution is to, you know, have one of those bolts with a hole in the nut, and that there's a little pin to prevent the nut from either get loose or tighten. But again, whoever designed it, the RoofNest is great. Now, by the way, this is not a RoofNest tent bashing video. I love the tent. It's great. It's warm. It's no condensation at all with my experience. It's just a little disappointing that on the second night I have a punctured floor because of the tent, because of the bed design here. So anyway, let me know if you have the same issues, or if you had the same issues and figured out how to fix it, or maybe you don't have the issue at all. Maybe you have a different arrangement here. Maybe my tent is some kind of a manufacturer defect, that somebody forgot to put the right bracket here, or maybe the right bolt or the right attachment. Anyway, so, you know, I could have been a stickler and actually call RoofNest and tell them, hey, replace the tent for me, because there's no way to fix it, right? Once there's a hole in this, you know, it's the bottom of the tent here, there's not really a good way to fix it. Maybe to cover it, but not to actually fix it. And again, keep in mind, $3,400 or $3,500 3 weeks ago I spent, meaning it's a brand new tent. But, you know, the way the things are going, I'm sure, I mean, they are a small business trying to make a living as well, so I'm trying to keep my composure and be a nice guy and try to fix it myself. But if I can't figure out a good way to fix it, RoofNest will have to figure out something for me. So now when everything is set up and we ate, there's one thing that's still left to do, which is cheers. Now usually I'm kind of a whiskey guy, but I figured that being out in the wilderness by myself, meaning no other trucks with me, and with the kid and with the dog, beer should be good enough. Whiskey will get me a bit too tipsy to handle, you know, whatever situation come in. And generally I do not like beer, so this is a beer for someone that doesn't like beer, meaning it's kind of smooth and light, but still have a little alcohol and ice cold. We're parked over there and we hear that there's some kind of a stream of water down here. I'm gonna go down and check it out. Yeah, there's a, oh cool, there's a little stream of water. Summer should be fun here.
Oh wow.
See, we have to remember this place in the summer and then come here and...
But you can't really swim here.
No, I can't swim, but you can splash, you can let the dog run around in the water. Careful. Here's the setup again. Pretty simple. This is the rooftop tent, the Condor XL. Got some stuff here, the iPad, cables, different things. Sleeping bags are in that sack over there. Dog bed is here. The body heater with extra propane tanks. Each one of these tanks, these bottles, lasts probably anywhere between 3 to 4 hours. So in the middle of the night, if it's very cold, I have to wake up and change it. Pretty simple, easy and comfortable setup. Mattress is pretty good. The mattress is, you know, pretty thick. I would say, I don't know, 3-4 inches or 2-3 inches, but good enough, thick enough, comfortable enough to sleep on. All right, so we are in the tent. It's dark outside and it's raining, so no leaks so far. Everything is nice and dry. The dog is having fun over there. Hey, the doggy, you okay? And Dalia is reading a book and I am fixing stuff. I just fixed this light. So RoofNest kind of messed up a little bit. I didn't get this light with the nest, with the tent. So I actually had to go and buy it on Amazon. I did call them and said that I didn't get the light, but the callback that I got back, they said that the bottom light is no longer coming with the tent. They misunderstood me. I meant any light. The tent didn't come with any light. So if you ever buy the RoofNest, just make sure that you get it. I spent, I think, 25-30 bucks on this, so no big deal. Anyway, other than that, pretty nice and cozy in here. Dalia, what do you think?
It's good.
All right. Doggy, what do you think? Are you comfy? This dog is more comfortable than anyone. Look at the mattress he's sleeping on. It's like 6-inch mattress. All right, so it's morning now. We just had breakfast, washed the dishes, fun. And I'm now gonna make some coffee, sit, relax, then pack everything. This time for coffee I'm gonna use this, I don't remember how it's called, but it's this thing that has secondary combustion and it burns all the smoke. So when it works, now I just started it, but when it works very well, the smoke itself is getting burned, generating more heat and eliminating smoke. So I'm going to pretend like I'm really camping, and instead of using a gas canister, I'm just going to use this thing. This is how we cooked our breakfast as well. I made the pulled pork on this little thing. Now the coffee is brewing. Soon I'm going to be able to relax. Again, this is the real coffee, not the American coffee. Real Turkish, Middle Eastern coffee. If you look inside, you see the coffee is starting to become a little foamy, and soon it's going to just kind of explode in terms of boiling and foaming, and that's where you take it off the fire. Yes, things are starting to boil. Soon it's going to foam, and that's where you take it off. Just take me back. Oh, here we go. See how it foams? That's where you know you have good, strong Turkish coffee. See? Do you see the difference between this and the dirty water tasting American coffee? Whoa! That's what happened when you film and don't pay attention. You see it kind of overflew a little bit. That's fine. All right. So breakfast, check. Coffee, check. Tent is still up. It gives us a little shade. We don't have an awning yet. Just thinking about it. But probably within the next 15-20 minutes we'll fold everything up and hit the road. We'll see if we're gonna hit any trails. We have, even if we just drive straight all the way home, we have about 4 hours ish, or maybe 3.5 hours, but then have to stop with the dog, stop for lunch, this and that. So we're looking at about 5-6 hours, and it's now about 11 o'clock. So well, we might start to head home. Daria, how was the trip?
Good.
Good what?
It was fun and relaxing, and I had fun carving sticks.
How was the whiskey? No.